Hey guys, thanks for coming.
Are we in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble. I just want to set some ground rules.
Like what?
Well, remember last week when you hit Vinny in the head with the shovel?
I do not recall that.
Of course not. Well, it was pretty graphic. Too graphic for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
I gotta make this up to you. This is Vinny's watch, and I want you to have it. You deserve
No,
it.
thank you. That's really not necessary.
No. Come here.
Hello, thank you for joining us for Road to Recovery today, the show that offers hope and help and healing and wholeness for those who are struggling with addiction, or maybe you have a family member, a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, somebody else in your life who has an addiction issue. We really do want to offer support and encouragement and help and hope for you or your family member. You can call us, 740-687-4500. That will get you the Recovery Center, which is in downtown Lancaster, 201 South Columbus Street in downtown Lancaster. They would love to offer continued and additional support and hope and help. Steve Rao is my name, and I have the privilege of co-hosting this program with the Executive Director of the Recovery Center, Tricia Saunders. Welcome back to Road to Recovery.
Thank you, Steve. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. We're having a lot
day.
of fun talking about these issues and allowing others who have expertise in the area to be able to share their heart, and really does make a difference.
It sure does. Yeah.
Are things progressing nicely at the Recovery Center?
They are. Things are going very well, and we're just settled in and doing what we do. So.
Yeah, and really expanding the services. You got a bigger, broader area and those kinds of things. So you've got real opportunity to make difference in even more lives there.
Yes, we do.
Outstanding. We have a guest with us. Would you like to introduce our guest today?
Sure. Today is Officer Simcox from Pickerington Police Department, and you are a DARE officer, correct?
Correct.
Very important job.
Yes, it is.
How did you get involved in police work? Officer Dan Simcox.
Well, it actually started in the military. I did 20 years with the United States Army, and I retired. And after 10 years, I was a machine gunner on a helicopter. Spent 2 tours in Vietnam. Got shot down. And I said, you know what? I'd like to stay on the ground, I think. And so I did that, and I still got wounded. And I said, you know what? I think maybe if all this is going to happen, I need to do something else. So I went I said, what better job is there that can get a bag off the street, help ladies across the street, and be a good and service getting the bad people off the road, and things like that. So I thought, police. So I went into the military police, and for half my career in the military, I was a military policeman. Then I wound up being an investigator for the government, for the Army, just before I retired. And then I came to Pickerington only because I have a brother that lives in Lancaster. My wife's German. My children are all mostly born overseas in Germany. So we came here, and I said, hey, saw the potential growth of Pickerington. It was just a little village then, and that was back in 1989. And now I've been here 24 years and been a police officer on Pickerington, and boy, has it grown in Pickerington.
Sure has.
And I saw my opportunity to work with kids after working the street, and when I saw the problems with drugs with children, I said, maybe I could really help get these kids off if I can educate them. Mm-hmm. And what a better way than the DARE program, Drug Abuse Resistance Education. And the former DARE officer, she kept saying, why don't you do this? This is really done. This is your I think your top thing. This is what's going to make you shine. And she was right. I didn't think it would, but she was right. She saw the potential I had, and now I don't think you could pry me away from it. So.
Yeah, you're very passionate about it, as you should be, because you know the history and your work as an officer, even in the military. We do want to thank you for your service to our country. I did not serve. I don't know if Tricia served in the military.
I'm too high maintenance. I have a couple sisters who have served, and I am very grateful to all of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. We really appreciate it. And maybe a more natural transition from military police to police work. And we're glad that you chose Fairfield County
Yeah.
and the area of Pickerington. You've seen that growth. Part of that growth has been, sadly, an increase in drug use, hasn't it?
Yes, very much. Yeah.
And so you say, I want to do something about it. I like that old proverb, it's better to light a candle than curse the darkness. And there's lots of people, and I'm guessing in Pickerington and Fairfield County, who curse the darkness of drugs or alcohol abuse. You're choosing to light a candle. How does that process work as you educate those individuals who maybe don't know a whole lot about drug use or the effects of it?
What's good about the DARE program, we don't just cover one particular item. We start off with tobacco, and I studied everything there is to know about tobacco, and I myself was flabbergasted at just how much there is in one cigarette, the chemicals. And I said, my gosh, and the kids need to know this. And my theme became in DARE was, if I can get you to never try it, you don't ever have to worry about being hooked on it.
Correct.
And that's been my theme, is don't even ever try it, because it's going to be not that stranger danger they earn when they're real little, but it's going to be that person they thought was a friend. And then we even have a class on friendship. What is a real friend? And that's very important, because a lot of kids go by with their peers. Someone that's close to the same age they are interacts or does the same thing they do. And a lot of kids want to be like other kids that they think's popular, and so they try to get in with that group. And sometimes they have to make wrong decisions in order to be with that group. And I try to get to that, where they don't make that wrong decision, because then they are hooked. If they're not hooked on the drug, they're hooked on being with that person they probably shouldn't
Very good
really
point.
be with. And I tell them, sometimes your parents are right when they say, I don't really care for that person. I don't think that should be one of your friends. I said, they've been there, done that. You maybe should listen to them. So my big thing is trying to keep them from even doing cigarettes. And once I teach them what's in tobacco, so we get down into the depth of it, that already makes them go, my gosh, then why are people doing this? You know.
Right.
And then I give them the statistics of how many people will die each year from just tobacco alone, just in the United States, how many chemicals there is in one cigarette. There's out of the 4,000 chemicals there is in one cigarette, there's 200 poisons. And then we go through some of the poisons and why even one poison's bad for you, let alone 200.
Right.
And then the longevity of smoking, what it does, and that's why we have these statistics in lung cancers that we probably wouldn't have to have. Then we get into inhalants, why people shouldn't be what we call huffers or sniffers, that sniff paint and markers and things like that, what it can do to your body. And then we go straight on from there into alcohol, and how many kids die each year just from alcohol, and why there's an age difference between smoking tobacco and drinking alcohol, because at 18 to 21 age, that 3 years difference, we've had so many kids, that's the highest ratio dying on the highways or from alcohol, and so that's why the age is 21. They think that's how old you should be to be responsible. And then we go from there we get into starting into friendship, and then we get into drugs and over-the-counter drugs and prescription drugs and painkillers, why you shouldn't be getting them. Then we get into the slang names like Skittling, which is polypharmacy of drugs in a bowl, and why you shouldn't go to parties and do these things, and be careful where you go to, because it's not just any more pizza and pop like you think it is.
Yeah.
There's going to be someone there that wants to get you hooked on, and then you take that chance and you try it and you think, hey, I can just quit this, and next thing you know, you're doing it automatically to stay in with these folks and that. And sometimes our goal is to teach you how to say no. And then I have 8 basic ways that they learn to say no that they can use to get out of a situation with the kids. Sometimes you only need to use one of them. You might have to use all 8 of them.
Correct.
But it does work. And then to find out what the kids learn, I have them, I always have a combination at the end of my DARE program where all the parents and whoever they want to invite comes. And then we have a poster contest about what they learned, and essay report. And then they get medallions and things for those that had the best DARE report. And some of those we read, and they're usually it's about someone in their family.
Yeah.
And that. So, and I get many calls from parents saying, hey, thank you, my daughter or my son finally got me to quit, because I tell them, you will be the teacher after I'm done with you, because you're going to learn things that even parents don't know, or someone that you love that's doing this that they don't know, and you can go tell them, and that's what they like. And that's why I picked the 5th and 6th graders, because they're getting a little more free agency. They're 5th or 6th grade, they're 10 and 11 years old, and this is where they need to start making decisions, because this is when they're going to start getting approached. And I tell them, it's not if you ever get approached, it's when, because every one of them, no matter what type of walk of life they live, sometime or another they're going to get approached to try this.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of these substances, and you have to be on the ball and be ready to say no, and live with that. And it's like, it may be sorrowful, because it may be cost you losing what you thought was a friend, but a real true friend would never let you do these in the first place. They would probably even give your life for you. That is a true friend, and those are hard to come by. And so that's why the friendship becomes a very important, integral part of the DARE program. So we go through all of this. We even talk about pets, how damaging things can be to pets just from your doing things like tobacco and that, and how important they are to you. And so we go into many different things, and we have fun. We have roller skating parties and stuff like that. So we make it fun too, but at the same time they learn something. And I've done now almost 20,000 kids, and you're going to have that small 10% that tries to sway the kids, but that's my goal, is keeping it way down there. And it works on some. You can't get them all, but I can just tell as you see them years later. Hi, and they all call me Officer Batman, because I used to work cold case files, and it wasn't that I was the greatest investigator. It's just I got really lucky on some of these, and so I said, you won't remember my name after this, but I said, you'll probably remember Batman, so you can call me Batman. So everybody calls me Batman, to include my superiors. And so they go, hey, Officer Batman, and they're a senior now in school, and they go, I remembered what my promise I made about, he said, I haven't touched it, but you were right, I've been approached 10 times, 20 times, 15 times. And so I respect them. I say, good, that means you listen. So that's my reward for knowing that it's getting through to them. It's not just something you taught them. It's something they learned. And
they were paying attention. You got to feel good about having a partner like Dan Simcox.
We sure do. And DARE is so important. And we know that for every $1 spent on prevention, we're saving at least $7 to $10 down the road in other costs, court costs and treatment and all of that. So we really appreciate what you do. It's very valuable. And wow, that passion really shines through.
Yeah, it really does. So we got about a minute left. What would you say to a mom or a dad who is maybe concerned that their child is involved in some illegal activity? What would you say to them as Officer Dan Simcox?
One is call. We have professionals. We have a drug officer now that's all he devotes his time to try to eliminate these, so we get them out of our city or get them into the courts so they can be punished for what they're doing, and to stop the harm in that and the abuse. And so we try to get the kids and the people to say, hey, it's okay to tell. It's okay to tell on them. That's why we've even entered bullying into our DARE program, because that is a big thing now. Is the bullying. Many people are bullied, not even just children, but adults. And how important that is not to be a bully, and what you can do to combat that. And we teach them that it's okay to tell on someone and try to get help. Many of them do come to me. We even have where they can call me anytime, off the record, and we'll try to see what we can do. And I do have many kids or adults come in and say, hey, what can I do to get my kid off of drugs, or what can I do to get my parent or my uncle or my grand that's doing this, because they're concerned. And I love giving them what advice. I got plenty of things sitting right up at the police station. They can come, hey, which one is it? Or is it all of it? Ecstasy, heroin, cocaine, and we give them all the literature they want. If not that, we give them counsel through pastors and things of churches. We say, hey, what church are you? And here's somebody willing to help you. So we don't let them just go away and say, oh, I guess I didn't really learn anything. We make sure they get the help they need, and then we go back and check up on them to make sure is something happening to help you. to
That's
help
great.
them or help that person.
Yeah, that's
Or
great, and I
people.
think it's important to
Yeah.
know that sometimes we do need to contact the police if illegal things are happening or somebody's life is at risk, and ultimately they're going to get consequences, help, whatever is needed, but sometimes that's the best route to.
Yeah, I've talked to former addicts, said the best thing that ever happened to them is that they got arrested, spent a little time in jail. It was that crossroads that they needed. Thank you, Officer Dan Simcox, Pickerington Police Department, for coming in and sharing a little bit about your heart, your passion to make a difference in young men and young ladies and ultimately in families' lives. And we encourage you to keep up the good work and carrying the banner for drug and alcohol prevention.
It's a war out there and I'm fighting.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for being a fighter. Thank you for joining us for the Road to Recovery show. This program is offering hope and help and healing and wholeness for those who are struggling with addiction or are on the edge of that process and need stronger information and education on prevention. Give the Recovery Center a call, 740-687-4500. Talk to Officer Dan Simcox at the Pickerington Police Department. He would love to give you some support and tools to use so that this road to addiction can be avoided. Join us next time as we talk to another individual who journeys alongside with us on the road to recovery.
Any questions?
What kind of service plan does this come with?
Unlimited.
Can I keep my same phone number?
Absolutely.
How do I change the ringtone?
Just hook it up to your computer.
Does it have a camera? What's the warranty? Does it come in silver? Can I put my party shuffle on this? Does it have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack? You sell a lot of these?
It's the one I carry.
You ever get those phantom vibrations in your pocket?
Any questions?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.